Hello everybody and welcome to the wireless hacking section. Now what we finished in the previous two sections is the vulnerability analysis as well as scanning of different services on a target system. So what we did for now, we saw how we can actually use the Nmap software in order to scan our target and discover whether it has some open ports. But right now, what is the next important to do that? We need to actually crack the wireless network so we can actually access all of the local area network devices on that specific network. That's why we are first going to discuss what wireless network is, and then we will try to hack it in a practical lesson. But before we do that, let's see what we will need for this section in order to actually be able to perform any type of the attack that we're going to show. So there is basically one thing that you're going to need, and that is a wireless networking card that supports monitor mode and that is also supported in Kali Linux. Now you will notice right here that I'm not currently on Kali Linux, I'm on my laptop which is running Linux Mint, and at this system right here I actually have the wireless network card that supports monitor mode. Therefore, I can actually perform these attacks. Now, if you are running Kali Linux and don't have any other option, you can really go to the Firefox, and I will show you a website, even though I think I already showed you in the previous videos, but I will show you once again, a website where you can actually find the wireless network adapters that are supported by Kali Linux and that are used for hacking as well as supporting monitor mode. And all you need to actually do right here is type Kali Linux wireless adapter. Press here enter and simply just navigate to the first link right here, which is by the best wireless network adapter for Wi-Fi hacking in 2019. Click on that link right here and you can simply just scroll down. This page is full of the wireless adapters that are actually used for hacking in Kali Linux. As we can see right here, Kali Linux is by far the best supported hacking distro for beginners. Okay, so this is the intro. Chipsets supported by Kali Linux, chipsets that work with Kali, so these are these ones, and down here we have the actual adapters. As we can see, the alpha is used for Kali Linux hacking, another alpha, we can see the Panda 2.4 GHz, but you also want to make sure that we have the 5 GHz option as well, though most of the actual adapters already have that by default. Basically what you want to do is, in case your wireless adapter is not supported by Kali Linux or it is not supporting monitor mode, either one of these two, we will need both of them, then you want to navigate to this website or to your local shop and try to find some of these actual adapters so you can continue watching these videos and you can perform everything that I perform right here. And now let's discuss what a wireless network is. So, most important thing for us in a wireless is security and authentication. Now we have few different types of techniques of authentication. We have VPA, which is most of the actual wireless networks right now, since there is also WEP, which is not really that secure and has a bunch of vulnerabilities. If you go down here, or in Kali Linux, you go, even though it is already been made, I haven't seen anyone use it yet. VPA AES support. It's also the optional thing for the personal edition if you want to have the 192-bit support. Now, the VPA3 basically uses simultaneous authentication of equals or SAE to replace the VPA2's pre-shared key exchange protocol, since the SAE is basically a more secure protocol for handling the initial key exchange address with the crack. Okay, so SAE, also known as the Dragonfly key exchange, uses forward secrecy and is resistant to offline decryption attacks. Now what I mean by that is basically you will see later on, once we try to actually crack the VPA2, you will see that one of the attack methods is actually us sniffing the VPA2 private share key and then later on trying to decrypt it with a brute forcer or with aircrack, with hashcat, or basically with any type of decryptor that we can use. So if we simply find a list that has millions and millions of passwords, we encrypt it with the same encryption from plain text to the encrypted password, and we actually compare the sniffed key and the encrypted password, and if they match, then we know what the password is in plain text. And that is actually something that cannot be done in VPA3. So the VPA2 has 4-way handshake, which we basically, that is the thing that we're going to sniff in order to get the encrypted password, and since it did have a 4-way handshake, it was susceptible to offline dictionary-based attacks. Now, especially when short passwords under 16 characters were employed, a stronger PC could have been used to actually crack those types of passwords. Now, VPA3 handshake protocol forces real-time attacks, essentially eliminating dictionary attack techniques. In VPA3, there is a prevention for the attacker from recording the encrypted transmission of a session and then decoding it in the future. That is basically the main thing that allows VPA3, or not allows, that makes VPA3 much more secure than the VPA2. Okay, so basically that would be about it for the authentication protocols or wireless authentication protocols. Now, if you want to, you can simply just go to the internet and read more about VPA2, VPA3, VPA, even WEP if you want to, but WEP is really nothing that is used anymore, and it is also not secure, therefore we're not going to discuss it right here. It has been hacked years and years ago, and it is out of use right now. So right now let's cover some of the reasons why would we want to actually have an access to a wireless network. So the reason number one would probably be that we get access to the local network and other machines on it. As I said at the beginning of the video, once you get the access on local network, you get access to the other machines, and therefore you can perform your Nmap scans and discover different services and discover whether some of those versions of services are vulnerable to some type of the attack, and therefore you can exploit machines on that specific network. But in order to do any of that, you would need the access to that wireless network. The reason number two would possibly be to actually sniff the traffic. So once you actually go and have an access to some local area network, you can perform the man-in-the-middle attack, which allows us to sniff different traffic and maybe sniff some of the passwords that go through different machines to the router, or some of the messages from the router to machines. We can perform sniff attack in order to get those. Now, we are going to learn man-in-the-middle attack later on, so don't worry about that right now. Another thing that we might want to do is we can also perform denial of service onto the wireless network and kick everybody off of it. But that is also something that can be done without having access to the network, and we are also going to see in the next few lectures how we can actually do that, how we can DOS people and kick them off of the internet without actually being connected to that wireless network or without even knowing the password for it. And the tool that we're going to use to actually crack the wireless network is mostly going to be AirCrack NG, which is one of the most famous tools that is used for wireless cracking. It is free to use Linux-based tool. There are a lot of additional tutorials on it, so basically if you get confused, you can always Google it, and it can be also installed and run on Windows. For some of you that maybe want to run it on Windows, you can do that. And most of them tools actually do the same thing, so the principle behind the attack of cracking the VPA2 password will remain the same no matter which actual tool you are using. Okay? So basically that would be about it for the introductory video, and what we're going to do in the next video is we're going to see how we can actually put our wireless card into the monitor mode. Okay? So hope I see you there, and take care. Bye!